Saint Flipperous by Jade Maître. Sammy Dolphin was upset. He was crying so much he was making a cloud of bubbles around his snout. "Whatever is the matter?" said his mummy. "Why are you sad when it's so close to Christmas?" Sammy shook his head and couldn't speak. A friendly starfish came and gave him a big cuddle, a squishy, wet, warm cuddle. Sammy felt a bit better then, and finally could tell Mummy what was the matter. "I just heard that Santa Claus brings his presents down the chimney," he said. "But Mummy, we don't have a chimney, so who will bring us presents?" Mummy smiled and gave her little dolphin a dolphin hug. "Santa Claus is only for the humans," she told Sammy. "We have a much better creature who gives us our presents. He's called Saint Flipperous." "Saint Flipperous?" said Sammy, surprised. "Who is Saint Flipperous?" "He's the most beautiful creature you've ever seen," said Mummy. "He has more legs than an octopus, more scales than the scaliest of lobsters. He has so many eyes they look like twinkling lights all over his body, and when he swims to the deep, dark places, they glow red, green, and infrared, just like a Christmas tree." "A Christmas tree? What's that?" said Sammy, beginning to sniff again. "Oh, is that another thing we don't have? We don't have trees under the sea." "Of course we have trees under the sea," said Mummy. "Don't you remember last Christmas when the little glowing starfish held hands around the coral and made a Christmas tree? We call it a sea Christmas tree, but it's just the same thing." "Oh, yes, I remember that," said Sammy, brightening up, "and we sang some bubbly songs around it when the moonlight shone into the deep." "Just so," said Mummy. "So, Saint Flipperous was born in a giant oyster shell 1,000 years ago. Nobody knows how he came about, but some believe he was laid there by 2 giant sea turtles who balanced the world on their shells at the beginning of time. When he was born, so the legend tells us, he was so amazed by the beauty that he saw beneath the sea, the sparkling fishes, the precious corals, the mystical bubbles that fizzed from the shifting sandbanks, that he decided to spend the rest of his life sharing the beauty he saw with all the other sea creatures, in case they couldn't see it for themselves." "But does he bring us presents?" asked Sammy. "That's all I really want to know. I really, really would like Saint Flipperous to bring me a present." "He does," said Mummy sagely, "but they're the most wonderful kinds of presents, far better than the human folk get up there on Earth. Up there, people give each other plastic things that they soon grow sick of. Plastic toys and plastic games and books and sweets wrapped in plastic. But Saint Flipperous gifts us with far more wonderful things than that funny Santa Claus up there." "What does he gift us with, Mama?" said Sammy. "A kind of magic sand that floats through the water and makes us see the beauty in the things we already have. Did you notice this morning, little Sammy, how the gentle streams of sunlight lazed through the currents? After Saint Flipperous has visited, you will see it, and it will take your breath away. And I'm sure you didn't feel the warm touch of the seaweed brush your belly or my warm milk in your tummy. But after Saint Flipperous shares that magical dust, you will find it quite impossible to be unhappy about anything at all, for knowing and feeling all the beauty that our underwater paradise has to offer." "Oh, Mummy, I can't wait to see Saint Flipperous," Sammy exclaimed. "How can I make sure he comes?" "You can leave a little gift for him by the waving anemone," said Mummy. "When people gift us the treasures that spread happiness from them to us, we must give them love in return, to ensure that they leave with more love than they came with, and there is always a little more for everybody else." Sammy was so happy and excited to find the perfect gift for Saint Flipperous. He found a tiny stone that sparkled in the misty swell and left it by the anemones. But as he went to sleep that Christmas Eve and saw the glittering stars shower their reflections upon the surface of the sea and felt the crisp night air on his snout and the swelling belly of the ocean on his body, he couldn't help but feel that maybe, just maybe, Saint Flipperous had already been. The end.